So there's a site called BuzzFeed. You probably know it, but if you don't, it's basically like a link bait site. Everything is just designed to be ultra viral. And it's kind of like the best of Tumblr in a way because, the same kind of posts that get really popular on Tumblr tend to get really popular on BuzzFeed. And one article I saw today by a BuzzFeed staff member named Donna Dickens. 15 terrible love lessons we learned from Disney princesses. And this is the kind of like really shallow, feministy shit that you see a lot of on Tumblr. And, I've even seen it on BuzzFeed a few times before. Not this exact article, but basically the same thing, like bad lessons taught to girls by Disney movies. And this is probably why, girls have such shitty self-image because of these fucking goddamn insidious Disney movies that masquerade as entertainment all the while they're subversive and destroying female empowerment or whatever. So anyway, I'd like to just go through this list and basically just take a big old shit on it for my amusement. No offense to Donna Dickens, who I'm sure didn't even mean for this list to be critically examined or anything like that. It's obviously just designed to get people to click on the fucking link. So the first one is, this is, remember, the title once again, 15 terrible love lessons we learned from Disney princesses. Number 1, if you want your crush to like you, change everything about yourself. And then underneath there's a gif of Cinderella, and she goes from, like, it has the scene where the fairy godmother turns her from her rags to a beautiful dress. She's not really changing everything about herself. She's only changing a dress. And the only reason she needs a dress is because she had a pretty dress, and her fucking evil stepmother and evil stepsisters destroyed the fucking dress. So she was just given a new dress. I mean, she'd had a dress previously, and she would have had one if her stepmother and wicked stepsisters hadn't fucking destroyed it. And she didn't change everything about herself. She just fucking put on a dress. Like, you're like, changing your clothes doesn't change everything about yourself. All right, so number 1 is bullshit. Then they have one that says lying about your age is a totally acceptable thing. And then there's a scene from Pocahontas where Pocahontas and John Smith are dancing around like a couple of morons. I actually have nothing to say on this one because I've never really watched Pocahontas because every time I've tried, it's just like, ugh, this is just shit. I don't even know how that is a Disney movie. Number 3, stalking is the quickest way to a man's heart and bed. And it shows Ariel in human form just kind of bouncing around on a bed. I mean, I don't know if that's really the lesson there, but I mean, she saved his life. And she, she was kind of a stalker, I guess. But I mean, is that really the lesson they're teaching? I think that the lesson being taught is basically to just pursue what you want. And, if that's, it's not like Prince Eric was like, whoa, this is unwanted attention. I'm sure that if that had been the case, Ariel would have been like, oh, and just, gone off and been a little bit heartbroken, but she probably would not have continued to harass him or anything. It's not like he's like, whoa, unwanted contact. I mean, it's not really stalking if the person you're stalking is, like, cool with it, right? So, guys love it when you act uninterested, and then it shows Princess Jasmine looking kind of unimpressed. And there are some guys that like that, so that's not even a bad lesson, really. I mean, it's bad if you apply it universally, but most lessons would be if you apply them universally. Everything is fucking contingent upon situations. By the way, not everything presented in a movie is necessarily a lesson, all right? I mean, that's why, it's just a story, right? So, I mean, some of it is meant to impart some kind of moral sometimes. But sometimes it's just, hey, we're just telling a story, and this is how it went down, and these are the characters, and these are their traits, and this is how they fucking act in these situations. And they're not necessarily, the people telling the story are not necessarily endorsing any one point of view. And when they are, it's usually pretty obvious. Number 5, passing out in the home of 7 strange guys is a safe and sane choice. Well, I mean, she doesn't really have a whole lot of choice. I mean, well, it shows Snow White. I mean, it should be obvious who I'm talking about. It shows Snow White. A huntsman had just tried to fucking cut her heart out, okay? Like, the only reason he didn't is because he fucking kind of like, oh, I lost my nerve because she's hot. I don't want to kill some hot chick. If they'd sent me in the woods to kill some ugly girl, then I'd have been like, rah! But, I can't kill this bitch because she's too fine. She's too fine. She blows my mind. Hey, Snow White. So, I mean, like, if you're lost in the woods and the queen herself wants you dead and you come across a cabin, damn right you're going to fucking take shelter in the cabin. And by the way, at this point, she doesn't even know that fucking 7 guys live there. I mean, well, I guess she does when she sees the 7 beds. But, I mean, they're really small. So, I mean, she could probably take the fucking dwarves anyway, At least a couple of them. Number 6, a guy cutting in on you at a club is hot, not creepy. And then it shows Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty dancing, and then all of a sudden Prince Eric, I think his name is Prince Eric, shows up and, kind of like grabs her arms and starts dancing with her. In the context of this movie, they've dreamed about each other. They're actually betrothed, and they have some sort of magical kind of like love connection that only exists in like the Disney movies. Not to say that love isn't real, but like that supernatural bond that you see portrayed is not real. And it's not like she was dancing with another guy or something, or she was dancing, in a club setting. I mean, this was out in the woods. So I mean, like, that's actually a fucking stranger situation. Like if you're dancing in the woods and all of a sudden there's some other person, they start dancing with you. I mean, that'd be kind of freaky, but like I said, in the movie, magical love connection. So, 7, boys are super cute when they kidnap you, and it shows Belle from Beauty and the Beast. 'Cause she was abducted by the Beast, The thing about that, though, is like, couldn't we just in this instance, couldn't we reverse it and say like, couldn't we look at it from like the Beast perspective, from a male perspective, and be like, hey, if we want to find a message of sexism, I think we can find one against the Beast too, because they're basically saying like, oh, he's this fucking beast whose life is shit, and he's stuck in this fucking dank castle, all fucking depressed and shit. But then this bitch comes along and fucking civilizes his ass. And, fills his life with joy and merriment, and eventually turns him human again. This is basically saying that, us men are just a bunch of fucking savages, and we need women to fucking straighten up. Which may be true, but it's still a sexist message, in my opinion. So that one goes both ways. Number 8, a man who lies about his background would never lie to you about other things. Look, everyone is a fucking liar, all right? Everyone lies. Everyone. You might be sitting there saying, I don't lie, and that's a fucking lie. You lie. I lie. We all lie. By the way, that was from there was an Aladdin thing there, because Aladdin, of course, lies to Jasmine like 1,000 times in that movie. Number 9, waking up to assault is no cause for alarm, and it shows the Sleeping Beauty kiss. First of all, they already knew each other. She was already in love with him. And she was under a fucking spell that could only be broken by a kiss. And number 10, it says, because silence is consent, duh. And then it shows the other prince kissing fucking Snow White's lips. But I mean, like, first of all, this story this isn't even like a story Disney made up. This is a fucking old fairy tale. So, I don't know if you can necessarily blame them for that plot element, especially when Snow White itself was made like in the 1920s or 30s. I don't know exactly which, but it was around there. So I mean, like, you know, it's not like you could even fucking say like, oh well, this, like, everyone responsible for that fucking decision in that movie is dead. And once again, she was under an evil spell. I mean, it's not like she's just sitting there quiet. He thinks she's dead. He's giving her like a kiss of like, you know, goodbye from this world because you're fucking dead. And then she comes back to life. 11, marrying a dude you just met will in no way end terribly. Well, you know what? Some people do, and it's fucking successful for them. But, you know, it's not like little girls are sitting there watching this fucking movie and just thinking like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. I mean, you know, they think, maybe they think they want to get married or something, but are they really thinking about the duration of time these two characters have known each other? By the way, this is after like 3 days of courtship, so it's not like they just fucking met or something, you know. And then plus they'd been through some shit. She saved his life, he saved her life. She fucking gave up being a mermaid to be with him and shit, and you know, whatever. Number 12, because if you try hard enough, you can change him, and it shows the thing from the princess and the frog there. I think that's an impression women just have naturally anyway, is that they can change men. And you know what? They're right! Women can change men. I've seen plenty of fucking men changed and civilized by women. Maybe not necessarily civilized, but, you know, women fucking do change men to fit their needs. And sometimes men change women to fit their needs. People, you know, inherently are going to change each other. Like, if you enter a business relationship with someone, chances are, you know, you're not going to like some of the way they do things. They're not going to like some of the way you do things. You're probably going to change each other. You know, that goes, I mean, like, being in a relationship necessitates that you make changes in your life. You know, living with someone else is not the same thing as living with yourself. And in this case, they're showing the princess and the frog, as I said, and Prince Naveen, it's not like she fucking drastically changed his whole personality. He was just like, he wanted to fucking go out there and fuck a bunch of women and, you know, have a party lifestyle. And then he fell in love with her and realized that she was all he wanted. You know, so it's not like, I mean, it's not even like she changed him through some manipulation or something. He was transformed by the love that he felt for her. And, you know, because she didn't treat him like he was something special just because he was a fucking prince. 13, even if you're a princess, your place is taking care of your man/men. And it shows Snow White kneading some dough. That's a pretty stupid thing to read from that situation, just because she happens to be in the domestic situation and they happen to be out there fucking mining gold. I mean, what does that really say? Like, the men go off to the fucking dank-ass mines to fucking, you know, fucking swinging a pickaxe all day while, you know, she just kind of stays at home and bakes a fucking pie? I mean, like, I'll tell you what, I'd rather have her fucking job. But, you know, I mean, like, just because one woman in one situation is doing one thing, that means that Disney endorses that for all people. And once again, Snow White from the 1920s or 30s. Let's just look it up right now, just for the fucking, I'll go to Google and actually look this up, just to fucking, Snow White. Alright. Disney. Alright, what year? 1937. It's from 1937. We live in 2013, and you're complaining about, like, this movie doesn't have good morals. Look at what it's teaching our girls. You know, number 14, no matter what the grievance, you can buy your way to forgiveness. I mean, for some people that's true. I mean, you know, if you got enough money and the person you're with is, you know, easily bought off, then sure, yeah, you can do that. By the way, they're showing the scene from Beauty and the Beast where he's showing her the library, you know. And I mean, it's not like there was even any severe grievance at that point. I think they were kind of getting along by that point in the movie. Okay, and number 15, and remember, it's what's on the outside that counts, and it shows Cinderella looking at her reflection, admiring it. Because women never admire their reflections in the mirror. It never happens. You know, I mean, this is just a stupid list. It's designed to inspire some sort of fucking outrage from people or whatever. And it's really just silly. For the reasons that I've already gotten into. But I've spent 15 minutes critiquing something that probably wasn't worth critiquing, but it just annoys me because I've seen it 1,000 times in 1,000 different variations.